popes could wear white on this day. So just tell us a little bit about your denomination.
This is a Norbertine habit, and our order goes back to almost 1,000 years, more or less 1121. So we were always having been dressed in white, even before the Roman pontiffs wore white.
Okay, so how close are you, your denomination, to the new pope? What is it like?
We are Roman Catholic. We are an order, an ancient order. We are canons regular, which basically means we stay in one church and sing the psalms and also go out and teach high school.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what is your first reaction to the election of former Cardinal Ratzinger?
A great sense of joy. We were hoping for Cardinal Ratzinger because Cardinal Ratzinger, I think, is the only one who knows the mind of Pope John Paul II the best. He's a close confidant of the former Holy Father, the leader of the doctrine of the Congregation of the Faith. So John Paul left really big shoes to fill, and I think the best person who can do it is now Pope Benedict XVI.
So what is it that Benedict XVI has to do now, do you think?
Well, first thing he's going to do, I'm sure, is, as he asked for people to do, is to pray for him. Confidence that the Lord and Our Lady and the Holy Spirit will continue to guide the church. And we have been like sheep without a shepherd for a couple days. But now the good Lord has provided us with his vicar, the vicar of Christ, Pope Benedict XVI.
And in more lay terms, if I can ask you that, tell me a little bit, what are the challenges that the Roman Catholic Church faces today, and how can Pope Benedict XVI fulfill those challenges?
The great challenge is many people look to the Catholic Church for insight, for wisdom. The Pope can do something that no one else can really do. He's a leader of over 1 billion people. He is a moral voice, the moral conscience to the world, a defender of life. He is a voice for those who have no voice. So it's very challenging. He has to meet with leaders, ambassadors. Millions of people will come to him for help. And so he has a very difficult job. But with the confidence that Jesus will guide him in the right way, no problem.
You know, I think people around the world began knowing Cardinal Ratzinger only in the last few days, when there was so much talk about who he was and the leading role that he took in as the Dean of the College of Cardinals, of course, who elected him. But for those who don't know much about him around the world, you know, what kind of a person is he? And have you met him? And tell me a little bit about what you know about him.
I have met him walking through the piazza here before. And the first thing that struck me is he's a very humble man, a simple man. He was a cardinal, and he just walks like an ordinary person to the piazza. He's approachable. You can walk up and talk to him. He greets you. You say a few words, then he continues on his way. He's a German. He's organized. He's very methodic, systematic. He might seem a little bit cold, but he's full of life, full of love. And I know that John Paul is interceding, working from heaven to help Cardinal Ratzinger be the man that God has called him to be.
Now, you know, there were calls actually to beatify John Paul II. Do you think that the chances of beatifying John Paul II have increased now that Ratzinger has been made Pope?
Definitely. People were chanting, Santo, subito, Santo, subito, which means saint immediately, quickly. Just last Saturday, I met with the head exorcist of Rome, Father Gabriel Amorth, and he said, this is kind of strange, but it's true, when he does exorcisms, when he calls upon John Paul's intercession, his help, the demons who are tormenting these people are very afraid. They're very moved by John Paul's power. So he is still with us in a very strong way, a more powerful way from heaven, from above.
How spiritual is the new Pope?
Oh, he's very spiritual, and people know his mind. You can read his books, Ratzinger's Report, Introduction to Christianity, his various articles, all the things that have come through the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith. You know his stance. He protects the traditional Catholic teachings. He won't be afraid to pull people in line, to discipline people who are going off astray a little bit. So he is the man for the job, definitely. And that's what the Holy Spirit has decided.
Now, one of the biggest upcoming events, with of course the exception of the inauguration Mass this coming Sunday, is World Youth Day in Germany, in Cologne, coming up in mid-August. This was, of course, something that John Paul II had instituted back, 15 or 20 years ago, I believe. So, you know, do you think that this Pope will be able to connect with the young the same way Pope John Paul II did? And the reason why I asked you this is because obviously everybody speaks about how traditional and conservative Cardinal Ratzinger was up until now, basically, and we do not expect him to change much in his theology and his teaching. So how well will he connect to the young people, especially those people who perhaps are asking for a church that is more modern, more open, more liberal, perhaps?
When the question was asked to John Paul, what is it that attracts so many young people to you? He said, it's the Holy Spirit. It's God himself. So Pope Benedict XVI will definitely attract young people because it's a truth that attracts young people. And though his teachings are conservative, there's a beauty there. There's a real beauty there. And providentially, it's in Cologne, in Germany, and we have a German Pope. So the first Youth Day with this Pope will definitely be a hit. And from there, every 2 years, the same thing will happen.
Now tell me, where were you when he was announced Pope?
I was in class until 5:30 at the Angelicum, where the Pope John Paul used to study. I got home, and then some of my brothers were saying, you know, they're going to blow the smoke, they're going to blow the smoke. So we jumped on our mountain bikes, which is the quickest way to get around here in Rome, and then we went through the river. We got here all sweaty, got into the piazza, and then about 20 minutes later, we saw the Pope come out. And one of my brothers said, I hope it's a man with lots of white hair, meaning I hope it's Cardinal Ratzinger. And it was. It was.
I mean, I asked you this already, but I mean, just in case those who are just joining us now, I mean, what was your reaction? How did you feel?
Joy, tears. One of my brothers was jumping up and down saying, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. We're thankful. It's like a euphoria. It's a real sense of like daydreaming. Just, it's a great monumental moment in history.
Right. Well, it's too bad you don't have your mountain bike here, because I really would like to know, how do you actually ride a mountain bike wearing a robe like that? It must be really a true challenge.
You have to see it to believe it.
Well, I'm sure that this is something that we'll be seeing quite a bit in the coming days. Now, let me ask you one more thing. If you could talk to the new Pope right now, what would you tell him? I mean, what would you ask for him?
I would reply to his question. He asked us for prayers. And so I ask all those watching to pray for this Pope, to pray for the Catholic Church, to pray for all those of goodwill, to pray for what John Paul would want us to pray for peace, and to pray for all those who are suffering. And like John Paul said, do not be afraid. So we should not be afraid, but we should trust. Jesus, I trust in you.
Now, you know, there is, of course, at this time here in St. Peter's Square, a great amount of joy for this Pope, just simply because he is the new Pope, and I think he's been widely accepted, obviously, and there are very few people who are right now disappointed that this man has been, this particular cardinal has been named the Pope and not another one. But as the days and weeks and months progresses, how much do you think his popularity will maintain that kind of level, and especially considering that his predecessor was a Pope who remained extremely popular, you know, for the vast majority of his 26 years papacy?
Definitely, this Pope will grow in popularity because basically it comes down to this. It is God who wants this man to be Pope. And with that, all the goodness, all the truth, his popularity will definitely increase, no doubt.
Well, Charbel, thank you very much. Your insights have been extremely interesting, and good luck to you.
God bless
and
you.
to your studies as well. All right, thank you very much. All right, Wolf.
Alessio Vinci reporting for us. Thank you, Alessio, very much. Stand by. We'll be getting back to you. Just want to announce, report the announcement